Dear family of light, humanity is facing a deep changing in the material world and so in the spiritual world. We have more and more technology today. We have a cell phone, we have a computer, we have things that make our life easier, or they should make our life easier. But at the other side, you can see the number of suicide is increasing a lot. And the people with anxiety and depression is skyrocketing. So it is almost become normal to feel anxious or stressed out. Why is that? Because we lost more, and we are losing more and more connection to our true self. Many are talking about 4D and 5D consciousness awakening. And especially the emphasis is to the 5D consciousness, but many seems to forget about the 4D consciousness, which I know is only a stage, a passage towards the fifth dimension, but without opening our fourth chakra, our fourth center, is really impossible to change deeply yourself and to change society. So it is very important in your life that first of all you accept completely yourself and you start to live according to what you think is right and what is not. And if you feel that you something you don't want to do it, then you don't do it. But if you are a people pleaser, then you will do this and that. You want to please your wife or your husband, you want to please your children, your mother, your friend. And so people go on stealing your time. So you have to possess your time and decide what do you want to do with your time. This is the most valuable thing that you have in this life, which many people forget: time. The majority of people live trapped in the 3D consciousness and what society tells them to do. So they tell them to study, they tell them to get a job, to marry, have children, and all the rest, and be in sacrifice of other. I mean, dedicate life to other people is good only when it comes from the heart. So first you have to open your chakra to life, so you are deeply in love with yourself, then you can give love to others. But if you are educated to help constantly others, this doesn't work. It will not make you a saint because you're helping other people. On the contrary, you will be destroyed and nobody will care about you when you will be sick. So please take care of your energy and of your emotional health. So things now are changing and many are experiencing what is the 4D and 5D consciousness awakening. Let's start with the 4D. So in 4D, we arrive at the fourth chakra. And so we start to look for a deep understanding of our life. What are we here to do in this life? So you have to find your purpose and you seek for it. This is still in the 4D consciousness. Then synchronicities start to appear, not as strong as in the 5D, but it start to show up. So people, books, information comes to you, places comes to you very easily because you are aligned to the path, to the spiritual path, which is your life. So in 4D consciousness, time become more fluid. It become more a round concept, a circle concept, and not a straight line. This is very difficult to explain. You have to feel it for yourself. And the other thing is that reality is became malleable, so you can bend the reality around you in a way that in which you can express yourself better and better. In 4D also you develop sensitivity, a sense of connection, and empathy for other human beings. It is important to know that mood shifts are very common in this stage. So if you pass from very happy, sort of enlightened also, and down to anger and frustration very easily. Don't worry. Besides, you carry this from long time. If this is a problem from the last 20 years, then you should seek for some help or do some therapy to help you with this. But it is, if it is happening only in this very moment because you're shifting in high vibrational consciousness, then this is very common and very so. Don't worry, you are not getting crazy. It's just the energy that is building up in your body, and your body has to adapt to this shift. So be patient, very patient with yourself. In the 4D awakening, you also become more and more interested in spiritual topics rather than material topics. So more and more the material, it becomes sort of boring, and sort of you say, well, I'm not really interested into that, and you move towards something that is really uplifting you. You feel a deep sense of unity with all the things around you, the animals, the plant, and you are attracted more and more by nature. You start to recognize duality in all things, but you don't take one side of the other. You start to really look from, you step back and you look the duality all the time, and you say, okay, this is this and this is that. This is black and this is white. This is night, this is day. But you don't identify with one side more than the other. You start to really step back and observing everything with no judgment. Really. So in the 4D also you start to feel uh, like more as a whole. You are no more separate from everybody else, and you start to feel that you are on a collective mission somehow. Here is also very important to work on releasing karmic pattern, like all things that still go with you, and you start to really work on your healing and the cleaning of your 7 chakras. You become also more conscious of the power of perceiving the reality around you, how you perceive it, and also how you shape it, because you have the power to shape the reality around you and to live a fulfilled life, even if there are difficulties, because in all the place in which you are living, there are always problems. But if you adapt to it, then your life becomes easier and easier. And in the 4D is also, as it is connected with the 4th body, you remember the last video, the astral body. So this is the plane where you can do the astral journey. And astral journey bring an expansion of consciousness, which has to go hands in hands with grounding exercise. So the 5D consciousness is a deep leap into a higher state of consciousness and a connection to the whole. Now we see a list of things that happen here in 5D consciousness. So now this feeling of oneness became really stable. It started to appear in the 4D, but here becomes stable, and really you are grounded in the sense of unity with all beings. There is freedom from fear, resistance, and limitation. In 5D consciousness, you always operate from the heart. In the 4D, you start to do this, but here is always you do it. So you are really always lovable. You start to act from compassion and from thinking always about the whole and not about yourself. You live more and more in the present moment, so you are not worried about the future. You don't think that much about the past because it's already gone, and you start to enjoy as much as you can the present moment. This is really a gift. You start to have a really heightened perception that the reality is multidimensional, and you can work in this planet from a different perspective. From your being, there is a natural flowing. Yeah, things start to come to you very easily, effortlessly, because you are aligned with a higher purpose. In the 5D consciousness, there is also the possibility of developing all the yogic power, the siddhis, so you can have telepathy, you can have clairvoyance, and you have a strong power to understand people, to heal people, to help people. And so remember that all this power can be a distraction, it can make you attractive for many people, but you have to just use this power for the benefit of human beings and for the benefits of yourself. So just use it and don't get attached to them. In 5D, you more and more start to connect with the beings of light. That's why many of us, the Pleiadians, are in 5D. So when you are talking with them, you are already in 5D. Many you are not fully in 5D, but you start to perceive, you start to talk with these beings, and these beings of light start to teach you what do you need to do in order to have a full life in the 5D consciousness. At the same time, you have a profound trust in your inner guidance. So you listen more and more to yourself and not what other people do. In 5D consciousness, also, you have a reduced ego. You don't care about what other people think about yourself because you are just true to yourself. You don't need anybody, absolutely, to tell you what you should or you should not do. You do it. You decide. It's your responsibility, and you take action, and that's it. And the more and more you are in 5D, the more and more this become true. You will have also more and more attraction to nature. When you are in 5D, you want to spend your time in nature, in silence. So you will go, even if you live in a city, you will try to spend as much time as possible to go out of the city, spend time in nature. And this eventually will become a lifestyle at some point. 5D consciousness is really reconnecting with Gaia, with the planet, but it's very difficult to reconnect with Gaia if you live on a 15th floor in a city center. So try to really to spend time in parks, go out of the city on the weekend if you can. And in the future, if you can, you move a bit out of the city in a more green area. This will help you a lot and it will make your 5D consciousness more stable. When you had the swing moods in the 4D consciousness, this was normal, but they become stable once you pass from the 4D into the 5D. The 5D, then you will not have any more mood shifts because you can integrate this high energy. You know, as already we talk about that in another video, we are entering the Alcyon photon belt. So there is a lot of energy going on in the planet right now. And integrating inside your beings this high energy is not easy, but once you are totally in the 5th dimension, this struggle will completely disappear. And also you will recognize yourself as a multidimensional being that can experience reality in many different ways. So walk barefoot, hugging the trees, drink a lot of water. They suggest us to stay with a light diet. In English, light, the light of the sun, and being light in the body, like lightweight, is the same word. It doesn't happen this in other languages, but in English is the same word. What does it mean? If you want light, if you want information, your body has to be light. If you feel heavy because you, not only because of the fat and the poor diet, but also because it's a psychological heaviness. There are things that you carry on your shoulders, so your life becomes heavy. So you have to get rid of weight in the physical and psychological level, both. They also suggest us to maintain a spiritual practice that can be meditation, yoga, or other spiritual practice. But the important thing that you focus on your spiritual practice every day, that you do something that helps you to be in the present. If it is riding the bicycle or doing some art, that's also fine. But try to complement the active meditation with a little bit of passive meditation. I see from experience that only active meditation don't work. That's why the artists are lost because they are happy only when they are doing their art, and then when they are outside in the world, they are not happy anymore. So try to do both these things. Meditation will help your body to remain healthy and your mind to remain clear, especially in the next month to come, when the energy of the planet will rise up a lot. You can ground yourself and you can stay calm and attend and perceive all the changes that will happening with a different state of mind. And remember that you are not alone. Your guide, your spiritual guide are always with you. If you want to connect with them, just sit in silence, ask for guidance, and they will be happy to help you. But you have the courage to sit in silence and listen. So this is everything for today. I wish you a lot of joy, and for now, be at peace, be at peace.